Kitchen knives, a compilation of skills for knife making. Japanese swords are recognized as artwork because of their sharpness and beauty. They are also known to be some of the sharpest cutlery in the world. Effort and enthusiasm in the pursuit of sharpness by Japanese craftsmen have brought about great knife sharpening skills. The Kin-O area is well known as a production center for the processing of metal. It is said there is nothing they cannot make. Thus, many products have been launched and successfully marketed. We, Tojiro Company Limited, also in this Kin-O area, is known as one of the top 5 manufacturers of knives in Japan. We have been pursuing ways to better knife sharpness since the establishment of our company. And our brand name, Tojiro, is very famous all over the world. What is necessary for sharpness? The most important areas are material, structure, and edging. Edging is very important. Sometimes this factor even affects the taste of food. However, even if the edging is good, it wears away with use as the blade becomes dull. In traditional Japanese restaurants, chefs must sharpen their knives every day after work, which tells you how important sharpening and edging is. Let's learn how to resharpen kitchen knives through Tojiro's edging skill. Whetstones are necessary for sharpening, and there are typically 3 kinds: rough grinding, middle grinding, and finishing. They are categorized by how fine their stone grains are. In general, middle is good for home use, but if you would like to make the edge finer, the finishing stone is recommended. To make sharpening easier and more efficient, this kind of container and whetstone table can help. A sharpening table that fits over the sink is also available. Soak the whetstone in water before sharpening. It may take about 5 minutes to let all of the air bubbles out of the stone. In general, the double-edged knife is common for home use. The angle against the whetstone is important when you sharpen these kinds of knives. All kitchen knives have cutting edges, and the tip of the edge, which we call koba, controls the function of the knives. If you sharpen narrower than the width of koba, you will get more sharpness, but lose durability. If you make it wider, you will get more durability, but lose sharpness. Keeping the knife's angle on the whetstone is important. You have to hold the knife using your thumb to keep the angle and the degrees. Put the knife on the whetstone with the cutting edge side facing you. The angle of the cutting edge should be 15 degrees. However, it depends on the thickness and width of the blade. You will find your preferred angle once you actually sharpen it, and then you can adjust it to suit your preference. Angle the knife 45 degrees against the vertical center line of the whetstone, and put your left hand around the edge where you would like to sharpen it. Let's start from the tip to heel in order. It may be better to divide the areas of the knife into several parts while sharpening it until you get used to sharpening the entire edge. Put your weight into the process as you hold that angle. A liquid that looks like mud will appear as you sharpen the blade. It is necessary for the sharpening process, so please do not wash it away. Unstable holding of the knife may change the angle, which is not good. Also, if you sharpen moving forward only, the edge will be rounded, but it won't be sharpened. A device that keeps the right angle may be helpful until you get used to sharpening. If the edge is correctly sharpened, burrs will appear on the side, and you can feel them with your finger. Burrs are proof that a knife is being sharpened. Check the knife several times with your fingers during the sharpening process. Sharpen the entire edge the same way. Turn it over and take the burrs away. The ratio 6:4 should be better. Note this ratio as a guideline. You will then be able to have roughly a 5:5 edge when you actually sharpen the knife. When you get used to it, you can sharpen a knife using your left hand in the same way as when you use your right hand. This is actually better because both sides can be sharpened equally. The same way is used for finishing as with middle grind. Cutting newspaper helps to take tiny burrs away. This is how to resharpen. By resharpening a knife, you can see the sharpness come back. A section of knives are generally cuneiform, as you can see. This means the closer to the spine, the thicker. If you repeat sharpening, the edge will be thicker and the angle also obtuse, which means the edge becomes dull. To solve this problem, you have to make the whole kitchen knife thinner. We call this togi oroshi. Togi oroshi also repairs cracks. Grind 1/3 of the whole blade for togi oroshi. A rough grind whetstone will be sufficient. Togi oroshi is basically the same as the sharpening we showed. When you have sharpened a knife several times, you will need to check to see if the edge has become thicker. If it has, it may be time to do togi oroshi. Togi oroshi is done prior to sharpening. Single-edged traditional Japanese kitchen knives are easier for sharpening compared to double-edged knives. All you have to do is just put it on the whetstone at the same angle as the inclination of the knife. Start from the tip of the knife. If there is a curve, you will have to make sure the edge is on the whetstone. If you can see scratches, it means the blade is correctly put on the whetstone. Deba is also the same. If you can see a warped backside on the edge, front side sharpening has been completed. Make the whole edge flat. Japanese knives are usually made by hand and forged, so a knife may be uneven, even if its surface looks flat. Turn it over. Put it flat on the whetstone and take the warp and burrs away. The back side of the Japanese knife is dented. You will see the shape when you sharpen this side. Sometimes deba is used for cutting bones of fish using the heel, so we make the part double-edged. Putting edge from the other side is better, and the ratio is 40% of the whole edge. This makes the edge stronger, with less cracks and chipping. But this is not mandatory. The same goes for finishing as middle grind. This affects the taste of sashimi, so we highly recommend you use the finishing whetstone. For single-edge knives, put the tip of the edge out and make the angle a little bit more obtuse. Then sharpen each side 2 or 3 times. We call this process koba-awase, which makes the edge stronger, so there is less chipping. Whetstone is also worn away. Because the surface does not stay flat after repeated sharpening, it needs to be maintained. A flattening stone can make the whetstone surface flat again. There are many simple sharpeners on the market these days, but most do not sharpen edges well. This kind of sharpener makes the edges rough and notchy, just like a saw, which slices food well when you cut with it. Because it slices well, you may feel that the knife is sharpened, but it is not. It is temporary and does not last long. A sharpener is never a good substitute for a whetstone. Using a sharpener may result in cracks or chips because it takes the strength away from the knife's edge. There are many scratches and flaws on the edge, as you can see. A sharpener is not good for the edge of a knife. The more numbers, the smoother. No sharpener can sharpen like this. A sharpener is just for temporary use when you do not have time. We highly recommend that you use a whetstone for sharpening. Well, how was it? Sharpening may seem to be difficult, but actually it is not once you understand the process. You can use sharp kitchen knives every day. This resharpening culture is an important part of the Japanese mindset. We attach pride to using things for a long, long time. This cultural value is one of our greatest assets. So please, do not throw away your knife even if it becomes dull. By sharpening and reusing knives, we can solve many environmental problems. Enjoy your cooking life.